Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Dan Lazar. Dan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
You are welcome. My pleasure. Let's go back in time just a little bit. How did you get started?
So I started in the last university day, in my third year of university. I opened up a tennis academy, which was my first business. And it was a very exciting business. I stumbled, made a lot of mistakes, and that enabled me to grow. That's where I stumbled upon my second business, where we were doing a bunch of things, from soccer courts to tennis courts to covering them with different covering structures. And then my current business, where we basically focus on two things, where we do property development and we do airdomes globally.
Congratulations on all of that. Who is an ideal client for you?
At the moment, my ideal client for an airdome, let's say, would be a tennis club owner, or something that we stumbled upon recently, somebody that has some sort of an agriculture business where an airdome would enable them to get more cycles of harvest per month, or per month or per year. And I guess in property development, I typically collaborate with friends only. So I try to only allow investors to invest that I really know for a very long time.
And how are you? That's fascinating. How are you helping those folks? You've got some different things that you've got going on, right?
Yeah. So specifically with airdomes, airdomes are the most affordable way of covering large areas. So an airdome for a tennis club, they will normally only have activity 6 months per year. By getting an airdome now, they can do it for a year fully, because they no longer have to stop their activity due to snow, rain, low temperatures. So that's how it would help a tennis club. And I guess in property development, we share the pie in a way. Whatever profit the project is making, we share it in different formats.
And that's fascinating. How are you reaching those people?
Airdomes wise, we do everything from cold reach outs to paid ads to trade shows to referrals. We everything works. We just have a different customer acquisition cost for each channel and different levels of effort that we need to put into everybody. Yeah, whenever we start a new project, with property developments, we typically reach out to, I guess, my close friend circle or connections that I have, and we check if they're interested in joining us in that project.
All right. And obviously that's been working. Talk a little bit about the growth you've had along the way.
So I guess with airdomes, it grew a bit slower than I anticipated, given the fact that it's quite a long sales cycle. There are people out there that ask for a quote today and buy an airdome in 2 years, but we're on a growth trajectory to reach $10 million in sales this year. With property development, again, you might be able to scale faster, but you need to be very careful, because there's 1,000 mistakes that you can make that can break the business. So you need to be a bit careful, even though you might be able to scale a bit faster. Scaling slower might be actually what you are looking for, what you should be looking for in the initial stages.
What you mentioned lessons, what have been some of the lessons you've learned along the way?
Many lessons. I think the way I look at lessons now is I look at what are the mistakes that I made and try to pack them or unpack them or process them into certain principles that I try to implement in my work to no longer do those mistakes again. If I were to tell you two, let's say one would be property development wise, I guess have a low LVR or loan to value ratio, or do more partnerships and less loans. I feel the higher your loan to value ratio is, the riskier it is, even though yes, in a best case scenario, you make the whole pie. In a bad case scenario, you're going to be in a bad position. While with partnerships, in a way, one, you're more generous and you share the pie with everybody, and also in a bad case scenario, in a worst case scenario, you're in a less of a bad spot. And potentially, I don't know, secondly, if I were to talk about airdoms, is to no longer have a fixed mindset. Initially, I was thinking, oh, only this would work or that would work, where in reality, after I put the minimum amount of work in each sales channel, I realized that actually all of them work. I can even, from cold calling to cold emailing to, I don't know, paid ads to LinkedIn, everything has a minimum threshold that you need to invest energy in. And a lot of times I've seen in my case, I've underestimated what a threshold is. With cold calling, it might be, 10,000 calls. With paid ads, it might be, 500 leads. A lot of time, I think I found myself saying, oh, this channel doesn't work for us, when in reality, I just didn't put the minimum amount of work that was necessary for the channel.
That makes a lot of sense. With all the success you've achieved, what is your biggest challenge now?
Biggest challenge, I guess, increasing my close rate, even though we do a very good job with generating leads, with, entertaining them, nurturing them. At the moment, I feel like I could really improve my closing rate. So I'm testing different strategies to increase the percentage of people that we end up closing, that we have a discussion with, or we give them a quote for their project.
That makes a lot of sense. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I'm very excited about what I'm doing. I feel like airdoms specifically now have many use cases, from agriculture to sports to events, but there will be a point when they will grow exponentially more. And that point is when hopefully us as a company or other companies will be able to achieve net zero operational costs, meaning that we're going to sell an airdom to somebody and I don't know, they will no longer have any costs with heating due to, some connection with geo-exchange heat pumps, or they're no longer going to have any electricity costs due to some sort of solar panels that we apply on top of the membrane. And when we do that, I think it will be a no-brainer for many other things to bring their venue indoor, whatever they do as a business, just because they will have zero operational costs and they'll be able to be more productive indoors.
Awesome. For our folks watching or listening who want to learn more about all things Dan and what you're doing, where is the best place for them to go to learn more?
LinkedIn would be a good place to start. That's where they can connect with me directly. If they're interested in an airdom, they could go to HeroXairdoms.com. Or if they want to see what we do in all directions, including property development, is hero.holdings.
Hero.holdings.com?
No, just .holdings.
Hero.holdings. Okay.
I tried to buy the hero.com, but they wanted to charge me $500,000 for it.
Yes, that would be a challenge to get that one word domain. All right. We greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. Anything else you want to share that I didn't think to ask you yet?
Good question. I think given the fact that your audience is mostly entrepreneurs, that I think it's just 10x your dreams. Whatever you dream today, try to 10x that, because a lot of times we dream smaller, or we don't think we can achieve different dreams, but it's all limiting beliefs. I think in reality, if we were to meet today or have a discussion like this with Elon Musk and tell him, look, Elon, you need to make $1 billion until tomorrow, Elon would be able to do it in some shape or form. It might be a tweet, it might be something else, but the goal is not impossible. Our limiting beliefs and potentially our abilities can be preventing us from achieving different higher levels of success.
All right. We greatly appreciate your time. This has been Seth Greene with Dan Lazar. Dan, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening, and we'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.